Hello guys and welcome to another video of the World Championship. We are down to 4 people. Again, LaoHuang, SandHippo and Vida are the last players in the World Championship. They are fighting for the title. We had over 600 players battling it out and we are down to those 4 in the semi-finals. So here we can see the bracket. The first game that we're gonna cover is gonna be between SandHippo and LaoHuang. Of course, at the moment it is 0-0. And then we also have Vegan versus Vida in the bottom, where it's also 0-0. But let's first focus on our first pair. Let's focus on SandHippo and LaoHuang. SandHippo had quite the road, won 3-0 versus Vivi, 3-0 also versus Weidenbaum. So he kicked some of the fan favorites, I would say. He beat Weidenbaum, who had an epic run up to that point, and who of course has a lot of fans as well. And we beat him not by a little bit, he beat him by 3-0. So he probably deserves a spot and he's gonna give us some great games. LaoHuang, on the other hand, had a little bit of a harder road as far as the results go, at least. Only just winning versus Lemmings player. And then, before that he also had a 3-0 versus Shorty. So, still a great player, of course, being able to kick out Shorty and also Lemmings, who as well was a fan favorite. But yeah, now it's down to those two in the upper half of the bracket. And we're also going to take a quick look at the votings, at the results of the votings from the predictions in the TTA Discord. And for our match here, SandHippo versus LaoHuang, we can see 78 plus 14, blue and red are both SandHippo. So almost everybody thinks SandHippo will win this. Only one player, I think, bid on LaoHuang. So those are some pretty certain odds, and we will see if SandHippo stands up for that. So here in our first semi-final of the World Championship, we have SandHippo in green and LaoHuang on second position in yellow. Let's take a quick look at those leaders and wonders. What do we see? Library, we see the Colosseum. I see a Joan of Arc, but no Bach. I see Shakespeare and Darwin. We see no Suez. We see no Red Cross. A couple of MAs. Yeah, not that many, I would say. Fleming and Chaplin and Hollywood, so we could see a big Hollywood. There's also Gutenberg. So with how these games have been going up to this point, I would assume that we get a culture race from these two players, but of course that is also dependent on the cards and when they come out. SandHippo has elected to just take the stockpile. That's interesting. So him taking the stockpile here, none of the leaders, which is very weird. Very weird start to this semi-final. Stockpile is usually regarded as one of the worst cards, but SandHippo sees the value in it and will grab it here. Maybe that does something good to the card row. Maybe he expects LaoHuang to take Sun Tzu and Colosseum, and then the library would come down to 1. Something like that perhaps, but we will see LaoHuang go for the Colosseum and Alex. So with that, I guess SandHippo really likes Confucius. So like this, he will guarantee himself the Confucius, but no library then. So yeah, he does go for Confucius, elects him, builds a mine. So he will skip the library, and I don't think he will go for Hanging Gardens. So he likes Aristotle that much that he's willing to take a stockpile, miss out on wonders and everything. So yeah, very interesting choice here, and one that I probably wouldn't have made. LaoHuang now goes for Alex, gets the engineering genius as well, will build a mine, and then probably increase prop. Yeah, pretty standard stuff. So yeah, I think LaoHuang has a great start here. Colosseum plus Alex, sure, works great, and the engineering genius. I could see him maybe go for the early knights and really threaten SandHippo, because he should get those knights. I don't think SandHippo can grab them on 2. But first, SandHippo will get the extra signs from Aristotle and get Confucius, not Aristotle, Confucius, of course. So he takes the development of, or opens the development of crafts. Will increase pop, build a lab, no printing press for him then. He will still go for the Wonder, goes for the Hanging Gardens, and then increases Pop. I have to say, I'm not too amazed by this beginning of SandHippo. For sure, yes, good leader. I know that the Chinese meta really likes Confucius. I can see his value, but I'm still not a huge fan of that. And together with that, he gets a bad Wonder and a bad yellow card. So yeah, I would see the early game or the early cards going more in the favor of LaoHuang, who will pay 3 civil actions for a Saladin here. And he skip politics? He skip politics instead of using Alex and take Saladin for 3? Wait, what is happening? I don't understand this Chinese meta, guys. I have no idea what I'm talking about. He doesn't use Alex and replaces him? Like, he doesn't want the yellow card? Then he has, I don't know, does he take the knights or no, the printing press? You guys can see me baffled here. I have no idea why he would do that. Why? Why would Saladin be worth 3 civil actions? And I guess from that decision resulted he also wanted the printing press, so he couldn't use Alex because he needed that civil action back, but Saladin is not worth 3 civil action. What is going on here? He even has to build a warrior because he doesn't get out of corruption. Okay, I'm confused, and yeah. Let's hope that we can catch up in what is happening here. First, we get the development of religion. So SandHippo can take that, also takes the printing press. We'll start building on the Hanging Gardens, 2 steps of that. Alright, that turn I can understand at least. I mean, sure, printing press for 2 when already having the philosophy. Probably wouldn't have done it, but looks like they still like the printing presses enough. So he goes for it. LaoHuang now pushes, gets the development of warfare. And this means he can't take the free religion, he can't take the free warrior. SandHippo actually also can't take the free warrior, but he's got that free religion. So yeah, that's that then. LaoHuang can now finish the Colosseum. Increase Pop, take Frugality, and then he probably plans to go for a printing press next turn, maybe even one more, who knows. And then with the Frugality he will have quite a lot of population soon, can go for the printing press with that. Yeah, sure, I mean, not too much happening yet. That's what you get when you pay 3 civil actions for Saladin. It takes a lot of the steam out of your early game, because spending civil actions on just grabbing the leader. SandHippo opens the last development, and we get the markets. He will probably take the rocks, take the iron as well. Develop that and upgrade 2 times. Interesting. So the Code of Laws will come down to 1. Usually you see these players take the Code of Laws, sometimes even for 3 civil actions. I guess this time the problem for LaoHuang is he has not that much science. He needs to spend 3 of that on the printing press. But I'm pretty sure he will still be very happy about getting the Code of Laws for 1 civil action next turn. Because he can go for 2 printing presses, grab the code, and then soon he will have enough to develop the code. So yeah, but SandHippo gets the early iron, that's also really good. He will have a lot of rock production, will have extra food soon as well from the Hanging Gardens, and then with that he probably will have enough population to build a couple of extra printing presses. So that seems to be his plan here. So LaoHuang pushes, we get the extra science for both of them from Confucius. We will develop the printing press, build our Pulp once again, build here 2 printing presses, and I would guess take the code. Yeah, so next turn he won't have enough science, but who knows, there might be an extra civil or an extra science from Confucius in the deck, so he could even have enough for next turn. So yeah, and then with the extra MA from the Colosseum, he's looking at very good actions and 2 printing presses. I guess it worked out in the end. I still don't agree with that 3 civil actions for Saladin play, but here we are. Here we are, and it works for him at the moment. SandHippo now opens another science, so LaoHuang can go for the code indeed. SandHippo goes for Gutenberg, so we get our printing presses for both of our players. He will finish the Hanging Gardens, upgrade one more iron, develop the printing press with Gutenberg, and then increase pop once. So he's planning to build the printing press next turn with Gutenberg. Probably, yeah, has enough food to do it, to get one more pop out next turn, and then he will have a second printing press as well. So yeah, and he's rocking that 6 rock production. That is where SandHippo is quite ahead of LaoHuang at the moment in production, doubling that of LaoHuang. But as we said, LaoHuang does have that civil action bonus. One more science again, so 3 extra science have been gained, but these of course go to both players. And now LaoHuang can go for the code. Increase population. Can't build another printing press, so what will he go for? Grabs a masonry, grabs a breakthrough, grabs swordsman too. Alright, so shows a tactic as well. So 3 strength for him now. Swordsman with the Colosseum, sure. It's also the last copy of swordsman, so good to get this one. With a breakthrough, also having enough science. Not exactly sure if this masonry might not be too late with already having 2 printing presses. I mean, it's still an okay tech, I guess. It's just a lot of the value that might come from the mason is already gone with building those 2 printing presses and having finished his wonder. But who knows, he might go for Great Wall, and that alone could be enough value, getting those 2 civil actions back to pay for the masonry. So I don't hate that pickup, especially because he has 3 science production, has the breakthrough, so some science to spend. SandHippo now. Will he push? No, but he grabs the monarchy for 2, has enough science to go for it, so now he also stabilizes or improves his civil and military actions. So he's looking better and better as well. Can go for the first printing press, increase pop. Does he use the stockpile? No, he builds another printing press without having the civil action from Gutenberg. It's definitely a little bit interesting. Maybe he plans to next turn still grab the alchemy with Gutenberg. Maybe even develop that afterwards and upgrade his philosophies. So he still could have something to do with the extra civil actions from Gutenberg. And then interestingly, he will lose that stockpile, that very first card that he picked up. So yeah, he didn't pick that card because he thought it was a bad good. He just picked it because that guaranteed him to get the Confucius and the preferred net leader over any of the others. Alright, so that's his last turn. That will also end the H1. And we will start into H2. Stockpile discarded, nothing else besides, yeah, of course, losing those yellow cubes. LaoHuang could still go for iron. Does he play? Yeah, he does play politics, opens the border conflict. That is very, very good for him. He didn't have too many rocks, but these extra 3 rocks are really, really good for him. So I like that. And actually doesn't have enough science to go for iron, so he will maybe skip it completely and just grab and build that magic castle. He will also sneak in that masonry, so paying 1 civil action less for the magic castle. And then if he also gets the Great Wall next turn, I mean, he's going to be looking dangerous. With the Colosseum, the magic castle, and the Great Wall, 3 strength wonders, or 3 military wonders, yeah, would be quite strong. So what is his last card that he picks up? Either the drama or the breakthrough. Breakthrough it will be. Alright, so more science for him. 5 strength as well, so SandHippo maybe feeling like the pressure is on a little bit. He will actually build yet another printing press with Gutenberg this turn. So he has enough enough population thanks to that Hanging Gardens. Has all of them happy, also thanks to that Hanging Gardens. So, I mean, maybe Hanging Gardens isn't all that bad if you want to just play a bunch of printing presses. And look at that, also Charles Darwin is showing up already. He would give 5 culture production to SandHippo, so he could even develop that right now. Yeah. Oh, what did... Oh right, he had to destroy something. That's where the population came from, right? The border conflict, he destroyed that religion and rebuilt that as the printing press, so I didn't miss out on that population. He just had to destroy his religion, but if he wants to go for Darwin, that is not a problem anyway, because he would not get the happy face. And now up to 9 culture production already, and can even use this extra or paying 1 civil action less from Darwin immediately to get the strategy. So a great turn for him. Next turn he will have enough science to go for the strategy, and has 5 science production, 9 culture already. That is quite a lot. And yeah, all thanks to those printing presses and thanks to Darwin. LaoHuang now will push. We get uncertain borders, so at least LaoHuang is also getting value out of his strength. Got the border conflict, got the uncertain borders as well. Can now grab the Great Wall, as we said. Gets an engineering genius and a patriotism. Already building 2 stages of this Great Wall. Again, saving a civil action from the masonry. So I guess civil action wise, the masonry has already paid. Saved 2 civil actions and cost 2 civil actions, and he of course still has it now, so it might give him quite a lot more. So that's the turn for LaoHuang. He still doesn't have the best production. Food and rocks are not upgraded. Science with 3 I would say is okay. He also has 9 in the bank, so he's probably hoping for Cornmon or something like that. That would really help him. But he doesn't have the production. Military pressure though is definitely there from him. Can finish the Great Wall next turn. Could go for swordsman as well. But first we get the historic territory, but neither of the player wants this, which I think is the right choice. I mean, if we take a look at their yellow banks and their food production, if they send away the warrior, for example SandHippo, he won't producing more food, so he won't be getting back that population for a while. And LaoHuang, sure, he could get back the warrior, and he might need the happy face, so he could have maybe sent one, but he decides nope, he doesn't want it. SandHippo gets the railroad here, which yeah is also a great pickup. Can even combo that with the architecture. Yeah, grabs that one, grabs the irrigation still, develop that architecture. So that actually means he will have corruption. Couldn't he maybe get out of that by building 3 stages of the railroad? Maybe not. Maybe he really wanted that irrigation. But yeah, the next turn he can finish the railroad and just do civil actions, start to produce even more rocks. And then with the irrigation, I mean, it's still gonna take some time to get more population, especially with this yellow bank being a little bit worse because of the uncertain borders. The next population will not be happy. So irrigation is quite slow, but at least he has some food that he's gonna generate. LaoHuang opens the rebellion and no discontent workers. And there's the Cornmon. There is the Cornmon. He uses the engineering genius and his rocks to finish the Great Wall. Grabs cannons and it has to be the Cornmon. Yeah. So he will have enough science next turn to go for that Cornmon. And then he will, I mean, he already has very good civil and military actions. With the Cornmon, he will just have very insane civil and MAs. I guess a little bit worse when Saladin will be gone, but that is not the case yet. So this pickup, very good for him. Alright, also 7 strength, so he has that. He has cannons and swordsmen. Potentially there's even a revolution turn for the Cornmon, but yeah, for Cornmons, I mean, saving 6 science to pay 6 civil actions, probably not the best deal. So I don't think he will use that. So now it's SandHippo's turn once again. He will just finish that railroad, grab the cavalryman, grab the wave. Alright, so yeah, use this turn, finish the railroad, get more rock production, grab some important cards. I mean, wave, probably not so important for him. I mean, maybe. It's not bad to have this in the hand at least. I guess LaoHuang can't use it at the moment, but LaoHuang with his low production definitely would have liked to have it as an option, that wave of nationalism. So yeah, also something interesting to look at is the statue, I think, for SandHippo. That could be a very good wonder. He has a lot of rock production, he has that architecture, so with his low yellow bank he could go for the statue next turn, maybe, and then the irrigation too, and then he will have a lot of population soon. So keep an lookout for that. Don't think LaoHuang can really deny that. I mean, he could, maybe. But first he will open the raiders. SandHippo will have to lose some rocks here, or maybe food. Then we get the Conmon? Yes, we do get the Conmon from LaoHuang. He grabs another Patriotism, another Frugality, another Reserves as well. Yeah, another Reserves too. Builds another Printing Press. Alright, so who is the king of the printing presses? At the moment, both of them have 3 of them. Biggest problem for LaoHuang? I mean, sure, Saladin was definitely good in H1. But now he's up against Darwin, who's producing 5 culture each turn. Which leader is he looking at? Is it going to be Shakespeare? There's still both operas, but one will actually be gone. With him taking all of these yellow cards, SandHippo can just deny the second copy of opera, and LaoHuang will not have one. So that means Shakespeare's out. There's Napoleon, so maybe LaoHuang has already set his mind on just going for Napoleon. He does have the military actions, he does have the military wonders, as we said, and he has swordsman and cannon, 2 patriotisms. Yeah, might just mean that he's already planning to go for Napoleon. Might have a war in his hand, making that decision even better. We will find out. So SandHippo opens the Inhabited, and this one LaoHuang is able to win for 5+, which means just a warrior, so that is really, really good for him. Just a warrior and a couple of cards for an inhabit territory. Selective breeding for SandHippo. That probably also means no statue then. We'll upgrade 1 and yet another of those selective breedings. And will indeed deny the opera. So no Shakespeare for LaoHuang now. I don't know if he had that, if he did that on purpose and not taking that opera, or making one of the operas go under the red X. Maybe intentional, maybe he now says, damn, I really wanted Shakespeare, but now I can't. Or as I said, he could have planned to go for Napoleon this whole time. He will now go for Swordsman, build one of those, go for Napoleon. I mean, at this point, he has no other choice. Elects Napoleon, increase population, doesn't have the science at the moment to go for cannons. So next turn he can go for cannons. Gets the breakthrough to make that a little bit cheaper. So I guess I like this turn. He has really no other option, I think. His culture isn't bad, 6 production, a lot thanks to the wonders and the printing presses, but he's up against 9, already quite behind. And yeah, he has no other choice for leaders, so he has to go for Napoleon. And then, yeah, I guess we have to hope for him that he does have a war in his hand to make some good use out of Napoleon early on. Will build swordsman, upgrade the other warrior to a swordsman. Next turn he will have enough for cannons, and then maybe a new tactic as well. But we start into H3. Irrigation will be discarded, but SandHippo has the selective breeding, so he doesn't need that. We'll go and develop the strategy. Has to destroy a lab. He has no happy faces at the moment. Develops cavalryman, destroys a warrior. This is a rough turn. This is a rough start in H3 for SandHippo, I would say. Having to destroy 2 things is never great, especially because they cost 1 civil action and 1 military action just to destroy them. Having this cavalryman might mean that he has hussars, but he could of course go for cannons here. Let's see, grabs a revolutionary idea. No cannons, so probably has the hussars. But even next turn, yeah, he will have some food, but the next population will be unhappy once again. So how does he get happy population? Doesn't seem too easy at this point. So if LaoHuang has a war, he could really punish SandHippo, because LaoHuang has the population and has the military tax as well as the MA. So I think LaoHuang has everything to punish if he has the necessary military cards, like a tactic and like a war. So let's find out. It will be LaoHuang's turn. Does he declare war this turn already? Yes, it's gonna be a war of a territory. SandHippo is not happy to see this, I can guarantee you that. He already is struggling with his yellow bank and with the happy faces. So this war of a territory could make that a lot worse. LaoHuang goes for a cannon. Probably shows a new tactic then. It is indeed what we all suspected, the defensive army. 6 extra strength for him. And then he can't build another cannon and another warrior, but he can grab a revolutionary idea for 3. Grab reserves and efficient upgrade. I mean, these are still some high value cards that he gets. Reserves and efficient upgrades, 6 rocks on 1 civil action, and then the revolutionary idea. And the best part about this, he leaves the military buildup and reserves on 2. Some more very important cards in my opinion. And even a breakthrough on 1. SandHippo doesn't have too many civil actions, so some of these yellow cards will come down for LaoHuang's next turn. But he grabs the most important for, I would say for both of them, the revolutionary idea. So yeah, strong turn, and even drawing 3 cards. We are in H3, so you always want to draw 3 cards to get wars, to get impacts. So even with the war, LaoHuang is able to do that. Vast territory, LaoHuang can bid for it, but SandHippo still will be able to bid more and wins this. So he has to send away this cavalryman that he had. But can he... I mean, this was really good for him, right? He had to send away the cavalryman, sure. But the vast territory really helped him with his happy faces. And he can now use the wave of nationalism to build new cavalry. Getting 4 population if he wants. We'll build a cavalryman, another one, missing just 1 rock to go for 1 more. And then he actually could have won this war, so... Crisis averted. This colony was so nicely timed. I guess I have to say quite lucky that of the 3 cards that were in here, the one comes out that SandHippo really could use. And if this is to believe, then all the H2 cards came from LaoHuang, so he played this vast territory, which he probably regrets a lot now. This really saved SandHippo. If that wasn't there, I don't know if he could have come out ahead here in this game and in this position especially. He had no population. He would have destroyed or would have needed to destroy something to build the cavalrymen. So this, yeah, he will still lose the war. And LaoHuang probably, I mean, he might sacrifice a swordsman to steal 1 more yellow cube. I guess we will find out. But SandHippo even gets the military buildup, and he is already outproducing LaoHuang quite a lot. So the rocks are on SandHippo's side. But now 1 yellow cube will switch sides, but LaoHuang does not sacrifice a swordsman, so he will only steal 1 here. We will then push, and we get arms industry. LaoHuang getting 4 extra rocks, SandHippo getting 2, so that's good for LaoHuang. He grabs the Manhattan project, so he does not want to stop with the military pressure. Maybe has a war from H3 in hand already. Definitely thinks that the Manhattan project will be his best shot here. And yeah, that is fulfilling his destiny, kind of. He had 3 wonders with military or with strength related relations. And now he has 4 military wonders. Alright, he will have corruption for this. And will he grab maybe the engineering genius or the reserves? So let's find out. We'll grab the engineering genius. Alright. But I don't really see LaoHuang coming out ahead. Just too many rocks in SandHippo's bank and his hand. Having this military build-up now means he almost gets 2 cavalrymen for free. And he has the yellow bank still. And not enough happy faces, sure, but with his food production he can still get out some population next turn. Has philosophies to destroy, maybe even printing presses. I guess the lead from him isn't that big, because we have 55 culture versus 75, so only 20 culture, but he still has better production. And while this military buildup is going on, LaoHuang is not producing enough culture to catch up. So SandHippo, what will he do? He will skip politics, increase population 2 times, build a cavalryman, keep his military buildup for now. Build yet another cavalryman, alright, and grab air forces. So he is seeing, alright LaoHuang, you take the project, so you are ready to go for war next turn. I mean, he could count Roxy, he definitely has enough to finish the Manhattan project with the engineering genius. I don't think he has enough rocks to build a cannon and a swordsman as well, that is just a little too expensive. But yeah, SandHippo says, if there's going to be a war next turn, I'm ready. I can go for air forces, build 2 of those. I mean, with the military buildup, maybe even more. He has 12 rocks next turn plus the 8, that's 20 rocks. That means he can go 2 air forces and a cavalryman. So yeah, I don't think LaoHuang can go for war next turn. And the longer this goes on, but SandHippo is producing 8 rocks and LaoHuang is producing 3. He can get reserves, he can get patriotisms to maybe make up for a little bit of that. But can he get enough of those? He will build the project this turn, so 30 next for strength. Can get reserves and patriotism probably. Alright. And then maybe endowment. Endowment is quite good. As we said, the culture difference was only 20 and endowment makes up for 6 of that. LaoHuang then also plays reserves for rocks. So yeah, he's definitely not planning on using the reserves for food. He wants to destroy his buildings to build more military. Is now at 38 strength. I still don't really see this working. I don't see it working. SandHippo will push and we get Cold War. I mean, that's some good science for LaoHuang. Maybe he was hoping to get the military theory. He has still a lot of potential with his 22 science. Could get either military theory or fundamentalism. The good thing for SandHippo is he still has Darwin, so denying one of those is still possible for him, even if he doesn't have the most civil actions. So what will he do? Grabs multimedia. That is a bold one. That is a really bold one. Okay, I mean, isn't that like really dangerous? LaoHuang just spent his turn on just building military. I really don't see a reason why SandHippo wants to get more culture production. Seems like if he keeps up the military race, and he can do that with the air force and everything, LaoHuang will not produce enough culture to catch up, as we said. But now LaoHuang can get military theory and fundamentalism. He still has the revolutionary idea. So I think this is an unnecessary risk. I mean, we will see if SandHippo had a plan here, if he maybe did more math than I did, or if he saw something or played something into the deck. But no, there is gonna be the war, and I think this was pretty predictable. LaoHuang getting the military theory. Destroys a lab, probably doesn't need the fundamentalism even, can build a cannon. Destroy lab, destroy printing press, build a swordsman, 56 strength. I mean, this was not a surprise at all. The only surprise that I had was SandHippo going for 2 multimedia. And sure, he can still go for 2 air force, but each air force is only 9 strength, so he's at 49. LaoHuang can even sacrifice if he wants to, or follow up with another war. So what does SandHippo do now? Prosperity? I mean, sure, it gives him 1 population, but it's not going to be enough. Chaplain also gives him some happy faces and population with that, so he can go for those 2 air forces without destroying anything, thanks to the military build-up here. So he will build 1. Will build another one, 49 strength as we said, increases pop, can even build a warrior if he wants to, but no, doesn't want that apparently. And yeah, I agree with 11 rocks this turn, at least he can go for 2 cavalrymen maybe. 1 warrior wouldn't have really made the biggest difference. So yeah, LaoHuang will win this war. Of course, SandHippo with his upgraded multimedia has now made the gap bigger because he has higher production, but this only upgraded his production by just a little bit of culture. And it did open the war from LaoHuang, and I think the problem is if there's another war. He only steals 12 from this one, so he didn't sacrifice a unit, but if there's another one, and there is. So another war declared. LaoHuang has enough for air forces, enough science at least. But it might just be better to build more units because of the Great Wall, and he still has the revolutionary ideas, so he can go for fundamentalism. Perhaps pro sports, probably taking that one away. No, he didn't. Doesn't want to go for fundamentalism. But couldn't he have with revolutionary idea? I guess he would have needed 2 extra civil actions So he's just, yeah, was missing one civil action to do it, I think, because going for the fundamentalism doesn't give any extra civil actions, because Cornmon is already giving 6. So yeah, having to go for a revolutionary idea and then develop fundamentalism means 2 extra civil actions, and he only had the 1 extra, with which he grabbed the pro spots. He's still gonna go up to 72. He loses 4 when Napoleon will be gone, and he will be gone before the war is resolved. But still gonna be 68. And how can SandHippo respond, really? Maybe tanks will help him, but I'm not so sure. SandHippo will push. We get the wealthy. SandHippo is able to win this one. I mean, that is a net positive of 4 rocks, because he has to send away 5 for the cavalryman. He can increase pop 2 times, destroy a printing press, go Air Force, and he can actually go and build 2 cavalrymen, going to 65, grab an urban growth and another urban growth. So yeah, not that big of a war again, but it's gonna be another war that LaoHuang wins here. This time he could also sacrifice. He will steal 8 culture here, so again he didn't sacrifice, wants to be stronger, maybe for pushing. No, yet another war. Alright, another war. This time he gets the fundamentalism. Can destroy another printing press, build 1 warrior, grab Mandela, elect him, destroy a mine, so yeah, everything destroyed. This is really a nice civilization. He hasn't upgraded a single thing. He's gone for his HE buildings and the printing press. That's the only buildings he's built. Wonders that all have to do with military and military units now, of course, and then a couple of military techs, fundamentalism, and mainly that, yeah, mainly those 2, fundamentalism and military theory. So this is a civilization for one purpose and one purpose only. And he did get 3 wars, which is, I guess, fortunate for him. So will this last and final war be enough? If we take a look, he has 107 culture versus 96, and he will win this war again. So maybe, slowly but steadily, not big wars, but 3 of them might just be enough. SandHippo opens the international negotiations that he can at least resolve what he will give to LaoHuang, and it was the food. So SandHippo can destroy things, build another cavalryman, and another one, 75 to 76. Build a religion here, and that's gonna be all. 75, but even if LaoHuang doesn't sacrifice, because there might be input of strength or something, 76 versus 75 still steals the 5 extra culture. It still might be very close. SandHippo produces 8 here, and we have 3 impacts from him. So it's not a clear cut. But I think LaoHuang will sacrifice this time. It will give 3 extra culture from the 2 extra culture from the Colosseum, and then the extra swing of a cannon is 3 strength as well, or 3 culture. So a swing of 6. So I think he will do it, resulting in 9 culture swing overall. So this time he steals 9 culture. Had to sacrifice that 1 cannon, so now he's weaker, but with SandHippo having played all of the impacts, I guess it's safe to assume that the input of strength is not in. But LaoHuang gets to play 1. We get the input of science. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is 108 to 122, and LaoHuang still has his production, so he is at 128 if we count for that. Grab the movies. I mean, he has no production, so he has nothing. He has really bad impacts, some of them. But there are only 2 from SandHippo and 1 from LaoHuang. So let's find out what those are. So 182 from LaoHuang and 18 from SandHippo. He makes up 10 of that with the input of culture. We also get the input of happiness, 2 to 10. So only 2 culture difference, but those have to have been the ones from SandHippo. So the last one being played by LaoHuang is wonders, 15 to 8. So it will be enough for LaoHuang. 3 wars is what it took, and he definitely needed all of them. Yeah, interesting game, very interesting game. I kind of think SandHippo threw this a little bit by going for the multimedia. I mean, maybe you guys can tell me, did you think that it was necessary to keep his leading position to go for the multimedia? Just felt a little bit like that were unnecessary risks that he didn't really have to take. I mean, if we count for the extra rocks that he spent on that, if those would have been extra cavalrymen, all of the wars were so close that the extra rocks that if he had not spent that on the printing presses, on the multimedias, probably would have meant LaoHuang couldn't have gone for any of those 3 wars. And that, yeah, those wars were definitely needed for LaoHuang. Of course, we can't rule out that LaoHuang could have found another way if he had seen, okay, SandHippo didn't go for those multimedias and spend more into military. LaoHuang maybe could have switched gears into culture. But I think SandHippo had a good enough position at this point. So yeah, very interesting first game of these semifinals. Congratulations to LaoHuang. Even though he did that weird movement with Alex, being able to take away this game from one of the greatest, from SandHippo. Yeah, great game of the first of the 2 semifinals that we have. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and definitely check out the next ones that will be following. So see you guys next time.